go, baby. The Leafs get the win tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Monday Night Primetime as the Leafs shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning. They win it 2-0 over the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they improve to, oh boy, I don't know the record, but they rebound after one of the shootout losses to the Montreal Canadiens. And coming into tonight, you're expecting the Leafs to, Tampa Bay's going to be first place. They're good. They're first place in the division. These are going to crumble, and just can't recover from there. Not tonight, because tonight was, by all means, it was it was a tight game from when the puck dropped to the end. And I could go on and on about this game, because this game was freaking amazing. It's interesting. So let's get to the game. Who starts in net for Tampa Bay? Jonas Johansson. Wait. Jonas Johansson. Pardon me. Who starts in net for the Leafs? Dennis Hildeby. And Pontus Holmberg makes his return to Toronto. Yet he didn't enter a goal. He had 0 goals at the time, but that's okay. Anyways, let us get started with the game. In the first period, well, it was a very, very tight game. I mean, Leafs had their chances, but couldn't convert it off of Jonas Johansson. Leafs get a power play off of a misconduct on Tampa Bay, where Leafs did jack all, had their chance on the power play, but just did not do anything right. Did jack all on the power play. I mean, the problem with the power play is that it's like the combination of the lineup. Like, why? I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the power play. I mean, the last time Leafs scored a power play, oh boy, they scored in November. I don't know what the game was, but man, that sucked. But, however, Dennis Hildeby was able to make some saves, stopping Tampa Bay from their tracks to take a lead, and thank God for that. And now, of course, you saw, the Leafs go on they go on the breakaway. Okay, they pass it to Easton Cowan, but they pass it to Morgan Riley. And what a celly! Morgan Riley with the celly! And the Leafs take a 1-0 lead on a celly. Incredible. I mean, what incredible. What a play. That's the play of the day, kids. That's the play of the day. And the Leafs head into the game with a 1-0 lead. Okay, good stuff there. And second period rolls around. There's a lot of back and forth. Same situation before, with the Leafs having their opportunities to take a lead. To extend the lead, but they couldn't. Tampa had their chance to tie the game up at 1 as well, but still, same thing again. They just couldn't solve Dennis Hildeby. And then not long after, Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets called for a trip, and I'm like thinking, oh buddy, that's not good. But however, Leafs kill off that penalty in the first half of at the end of this, during the last minute of the second period. Then you go into the third period, you kill off the second half of the penalty, and you go from there. And it's still 1-0 Toronto after 40 minutes of play. And I'm like thinking, this is odd. Normally the Leafs would just fumble in the second period, and thank God they didn't. I mean, who knows what will happen in the second period. I thought it could be worse though. Could be a lot worse, but oh well, that's just me. Now you go to the third period, and it was all hell breaks loose. Hands on deck for the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning as, a Tampa Bay player, I don't know his name, he knees Dakota Morris, which led to him and, you guessed it, Dakota Joshua fighting. They fight in, they bam, 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 hit him where it hurts. Oh my God, that's a big fight. And then, of course, the penalties come rolling down for Toronto and Tampa. A match penalty on Toronto on Bobby McMann for cross-check. I mean, where the hell did Bobby McMann come? Where did he come? Where did Bobby McMann come? Like, where do you give a match penalty on McMann? I mean, are you kidding me? But, of course, I didn't even get a chance to see it. I was busy studying for my exams, but that's okay. What's another one? I'm going to say Dakota Joshua, and that other Tampa Bay Lightning player gets called for fighting. And a Tampa Bay player gets called for a misconduct, I believe. And a kneeing penalty. So that's a first. A 5-minute major on Tampa Bay. I mean, look at the penalties that both in the third period for Tampa and Toronto. Look at this. Look at this, man. You don't see this very often. It's very strange. Okay, you've seen it in Game 1, Round 1 versus Ottawa last season. You saw it in Game 5, Round 2 versus the Florida Panthers in that loss to Florida. And Game 4 as well. But, man, that's a lot. However, Leafs had their chances and they couldn't convert. They had an opportunity to go on a power play. They go on a power play again. This is huge. It's crucial. But just couldn't convert it. Again, one shot on the power play. It's not helping. So now we go to the diamond of the game, and there's a lot of opportunities for Leafs to put this game on ice. Scott Laughton, I thought he was going to get the empty netter, but he iced it. It's like so many opportunities. Nothing for Scott Laughton, not for JT. I mean, they had the opportunities. But in the dying seconds of the game, Austin Matthews scores the empty netter, putting the dagger in the heart of Tampa Bay. That's how the game ends. And Dennis Hildeby gets his first career NHL shutout in the National Hockey League. And all I got to say is, wow, that is actually pretty good. Coming into tonight, and Hildeby, he was amazing. Now, I guess you can tell, look at the stats right now. Okay, Austin Matthews has a goal, has 1 point, had 7 shots on goal. Easton Cowan has had an assist, as well as John Tavares. Morgan Riley had a goal with a point. All right, got stuff there. And Dennis Hildeby made 29 saves. He was dynamo. He was awesome. And well-deserved for Tampa. Well-deserved for Dennis Hildeby. Well-deserved. And Jonas Johansson had made 23 saves. Or 23 saves, I believe. 22 out of his 23 saves. I mean, look, the dude's amazing. But, man, he let in a 1 goal. But it's going to be one of those games where you got to grind it out, shut him out, and that's how it is. So, I'm happy that the Leafs won. They got the win against Tampa Bay, whom is on a rough patch coming into that game against Toronto, as they lost 2-1 to the New York Islanders. They lost 4-3 to the Pittsburgh Penguins on a bizarre call that was supposed to be a tying goal, but was a hand pass. And the Islanders shutting out the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm gonna show you what it looks like right there. Hold on a minute. You see back-to-back shutouts, back-to-back teams that Tampa Bay got shut out by. One against the New York Islanders, and then against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, that is very shocking. I'm not surprised. It is very, very shocking that Tampa got shut out. I'm not surprised, really. Now, I'm not saying that Tampa Bay, I'm not going to disregard Tampa Bay. They're a really good team. They're first place in the Atlantic Division right now, and they are in a rough patch. They've lost 4 straight games, but I believe Tampa Bay can get out of this slump in no time. They just got to get their heads out of the sand, and they got to do Tampa Bay things. Like, I've seen Tampa Bay dominate before. I've seen them dominate last season, despite losing in the playoffs to the Florida Panthers. I've seen them I've seen this before. If Tampa Bay can get out of this rough patch, I mean, if the Leafs can get out, sorry, I had to see that. If the Leafs got out of that rough patch, so can Tampa Bay, and I believe Tampa Bay can get out of this slump in no time. So, yeah, that was really good, and good game, Tampa Bay. You really grinded out in the second. You grinded out, came up short, but that's okay. That's the NHL, but good game, Tampa Bay. Anyways, that is it for this video. The next game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they play against the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, that Sharks team. Yeah, who beat off the Carolina Hurricanes. Not surprising there. So, the last time the Leafs played against the San Jose Sharks, there's 2 things that went really wrong badly. The first one, the Leafs lose 3-2 in a shootout to the San Jose Sharks, where the Sharks made the Leafs blow a 2-0 lead. Not making that up. And then, of course, the Sharks ruining a Leafs comeback in a 6-5 shootout loss to the Sharks. Once again, get 2 out of the 4 points against San Jose, but just lost to Sharks team. Like, that was a bad. That team was horrible, and I'm still telling you that was unacceptable. That was inexcusable for the Leafs to lose to the Sharks. And you're playing against the Sharks, whom is on the rise, and you have to take down the Sharks. I mean, you got Tuesday and Wednesday off to get your head out and to find a way to beat the Sharks. And I'm hoping the Leafs can beat San Jose. I'm just hoping they can beat the Sharks and go on a win streak if they're have the Leafs go on a win streak and just go from there. Like, I just don't want to lose to a bad team yet again, like last year and maybe this year, where they lost to Detroit, the Jackets, the bloody Blackhawks. That's just my input. But that's it. Let's keep the ball moving. Let's keep the ball rolling here, boys. Let's go, Leafs. Yeah!